Could everybody listen up for a second?
Everyone, let's do cool.
Thank you. I'm just gonna do a short presentation about what we're doing here today, what we already did. Yeah, it's very short, very fun film. Different different methods of erosion control. And I'm also gonna talk a little bit about the history of this place and what else they're doing in this area. These are pictures of the trail. You can see all the erosion. We came here during a rainstorm to see where the water was flowing in the trail, just to get a better idea. So these are pictures of the water in the erosion. This right here is in the beginning where the asphalt road meets the gravel trail. So this is how it looked like before. This is the erosion in the rain. More erosion in the rain.
Wow, that's neat.
Some more. This is the contour map of the place. Mr. Ladvina gave this to me because he's an environmental engineer for his job. So he has access to a lot of this stuff, and he helped me with mapping out the area. So you can see all the contour lines and where the hills are and everything. And we've also marked in so the dot, I don't know if you can see, but the dotted lines, that's the drainage routes. So that's where the water is flowing. And then the solid lines, that's like the top of the hills. So the solid lines are the tops of the hills where the water will be running down. So there's a solid line like here. So all the water runs down there. All the water runs down there. And then down there in the valley, there'll be a dotted line, which is where the water is draining. And so you can see for most of it, the water is draining on either side of the trail. So the erosion was pretty bad up there, but it wasn't as bad as down there. Except for down there, the drainage point and the trail are the exact same, they're on top of each other. So the trail is really eroded down there. It is. So all the water is just rushing down that hill right where the trail is, so it's really eroded. Today we're going to be fixing the erosion, or at least starting to. These black numbers, that's where we're, so today what we're going to try and accomplish is we're going to put gravel speed bump water bars on each of these black areas here. We're going to go up till 8, 9, and 10 are a job for Sunday of next week. And then Saturday of next week, we're going to, there's some stuff that needs to be cleared up there by the entrance. Talk a little bit about what we're going to do here today, what we could have done, and why we didn't do that. Erosion control measures. Today we're going to be doing gravel berms. Later on, next week, we're going to be doing water open top culverts. These are to divert the water off of the trail. And there's some other things that we looked up: steps, pavers, core logs, and geogrid and textiles. Those are more to, if water's gonna flow over the trail, that's more to keep the trail in place while the water flows over it. This is a gravel water bar. We're gonna be making something very much like this today. It's gonna be lots of fun. These are good because they're cheap, easy to install, and they work. Well, easier than some of the other ones. This is an open top culvert. So yeah, this is the side view. It's a long thing and the top is open. It has these bars across it. We're gonna put those down there, and that's also gonna divert the water off the trail. This is a wooden water bar. So how this works is the water will come down, go into this gravel here, and then hit the water bar and run off the trail. This is what I had originally planned to put in where the gravel ones were, and this is a lot more work. First you would dig a hole and then put this block of wood in and then drill a rebar down to the ground to hold it in place. And then you'd put this geotextile here, which is basically some cloth, and then fill it with gravel. And we didn't do this because it'd be hard for them to maintain this sort of gravel patch because they'd have to dig it out and remove the silt every time. Hello, Seth. Seth, could we have you sign in, please?
Yeah. Thank you.
We're going through a very short, fun-filled presentation. This is a rubber razor. It's basically like a water bar, except it has a piece of rubber on top to help move the water some more. We didn't do that because the rubber could crack and break in the winter, and then it's kind of useless. These are steps. I was gonna do steps way down there. There's a very steep, rocky sort of area. I was gonna do steps there. That's more for for people to walk on, and also it keeps the whole trail in place as the water goes over it. We didn't do that because it's very expensive, and they wanted to keep the trail sort of natural looking. Pavers, turf stone pavers. Again, those are just to keep the trail in place if water's going over it. We didn't do that because it's very hard to put in pavers, and that requires a lot of people, and those are expensive. And the trail doesn't look very natural when you put those on. Geogrid, that's a plastic thing. You fill it with soil and stake it down everywhere. That's also to keep the trail in place. That's also very expensive, so we didn't do that. This is a coir log. We were gonna put some coir logs up at the front, but coir logs are more for if you want to plant over them. And so originally they were gonna have us, the section of trail behind us towards the road there, they wanted us to plant over that with grass like around, but then actually Mr. Elliott here convinced them not to, so we don't have to plant grass now, and we don't have to put in coir logs.
It would just get torn up. Trust me, I've planted this too many times and it just keeps getting torn up.
Oh, Dada, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you going to be doing any erosion control down there? Yes.
Yes. So that was planned for next week, but we might start some of that too.
So what are we going to do there?
I'll tell you.
Gravel?
So this is a place of a lot of ecological significance. A lot of this grass here is, they're trying to do prairie restoration, stuff that's natural. So yeah, it's an important ecological location. It's got prairie and oak savanna habitat. It's been identified by the DNR as rich in species of greatest conservation need. It's a lot of plants and animals that don't have a habitat because we humans keep building stuff. They can have a habitat here where they're restoring the prairie. So you can find things such as Canadian goldenrod, which is right there.
It's the round yellow flower.
Yep, so it's got those like shoots of yellow flowers.
Oh yeah, that's the Canadian.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then there's the rigid one, which is right there.
Yeah.
So that has like the bunches of yellow flowers.
There's a bee on there.
There's field thistle, that's the purple
These are
stuff
your
over
friends?
there.
I like
Mr. Elliott was telling us that this one is native to Minnesota,
Yeah,
so he doesn't like this.
yeah. So he's been taking this down.
He's got a,
Well, actually,
He's got a
this,
tough
he
battle
likes
ahead
that
of
one because it doesn't spread as fast.
yeah.
And then the purple one right there, that's the field thistle, which is native, but they don't like it that much, so they're trying to remove that too. Then there's black-eyed Susans, Horae vervain, wild bergamot, and gray-headed coneflowers.
Gray-headed pumpkin.
Anything to make
Edit
the
that
short
out.
and fun presentation more fun. So this is also a sacred site for Native Americans. This memorial that we're sitting on, it's got names of different tribes of Native Americans that were in this area to keep in memory the Native Americans who keep this place sacred. This here is a medicine wheel. It's down there, and there's another one up there somewhere. And those talk about the four seasons, the four cardinal directions, and it holds a lot of importance to the Native Americans who live around in this area. There's different lessons that they learn from the different directions. And the idea is you have to stay in the center and learn from all four. I got reminded of like in the OA ceremony when they talk about land of the rising sun and land of the winter snows and stuff. Okay, so this hill is referred to as Oheywahi, which is translated to a hill much visited. It overlooks the mouth of the Minnesota River, which many Dakota consider the center of the earth. So it's very sacred over here. It's sacred for Dakota, Ojibwe, and Iowa people. And the Dakota still perform ceremonies on this hill to this day. Apparently they use the trail down there to get to their international powwow, which is why they wanted no steps to keep it looking natural. So I just have some history here. In 1848, this pilot knob was proposed to be the site for the Minnesota Territorial Capital. And then in 1851, there was a treaty signed here between the U.S. government and the Dakota people that basically gave away 35 million acres of Dakota land to the U.S. government. And that was the largest land transfer in U.S. history. And then basically in 1862-63, they took all the Dakota and held them for the winter on the opposite bank over there, where many of them starved to death, and then some of them were buried here. They were given no food, no clothes, nothing. They just died over there. And some of them were buried here, so they hold this place very dear to their hearts. In 1870, many of the Dakota began to return to their former homes, including Mendota. Some of the Dakota had stayed there, and the Mendota-Metawakanton Dakota community is still there today. In 2004, this hill was determined to be eligible for National Register of Historic Places. And that's the end of the fun-filled brief presentation. We're gonna start down by the memorial over there. So if I could have 3 volunteers who will each take a wheelbarrow. Okay. Sean, Gooden, and Peter. See, once again, we have it marked there. So you're gonna have to rake some of this, so most of this gravel, you're gonna flatten out over this area. See, there's erosion here, down here. You're gonna put the gravel on top of there, and after that you can hammer it down, and then you're gonna build the same bump 6 inches high, 2 feet wide for the spray.
Grass. For the spray paints? You want to
Sure. See, the idea is the water is gonna come down here. It's gonna hit this gravel bump and then go into there. Yeah. So you guys can grab some.